Thank you ever so much for having us, and Happy New Year, everybody. It's lovely to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Mark and I will talk a little bit about our musical experiences, and I'll tell you a bit about Orchestra Vitae, and then we've got some music for you, a bit of a sort of a mixing pot of some classical pieces and some tunes that you might know. And just to start off by saying thank you ever so much again for having us. It's a real privilege to have the opportunity to play to people at this time. Neither of us have done very much playing to people since all this started in March, so it's great to have that opportunity. So thank you. So I'll begin by telling you a little bit about how I became involved with music. I'm sure lots of you have got children and family members who play instruments as well. And I was very typical. I started playing the piano, first of all, at the age of 5, and then the violin at the age of 6. And what happened was basically I had an assembly at school where the violin teacher played some pieces, and then at the end, I took a letter home to my mum and dad saying that I'd expressed an interest in playing the violin, and they were very surprised. Neither of my parents were musical at all, and they thought I'd probably just have like the first 10 lessons, and then that would be it. But here we are, a couple of decades at least later. And actually, I've got 2 younger brothers who are twins, and they are also both professional musicians. So it really changed our family, that letter. I think Mark's going to tell you a little bit about how he started now.
So I grew up in Bedfordshire, and actually I'm from a musical family. My parents met playing in an amateur orchestra, the Epsom Symphony Orchestra, and my older brother, he began playing the cello with a local teacher who is a very inspirational figure for both of us. And actually, so I was going to learn the violin, but then actually obviously developed a rapport with my brother's cello teacher and began having cello lessons. In fact, the one of the reasons I picked the cello was because we went down from Bedford down to London, because the Bedfordshire Youth Music Service used to run a concert at the Royal Albert Hall every 4 years, where all the groups, the orchestras and choirs and bands would get to play in that amazing hall. And I went to watch, and I thought, well, I need to be a part of this. So that's when I started playing the cello.
So I grew up in Eastbourne, down on the south coast, and I began playing with the local music service, East Sussex Music Service. And then when I was 13, I started at the Royal College of Music Junior Department, and all 3 of us went there. So that was a trip every Saturday. And then I went to King's College London to do music at uni, and then finally I went back to RCM, the Royal College, to do a PhD, which was actually all about the Royal Albert Hall. So that was our first connection. And now I sort of work as a violinist. I have a lot of instrumental pupils. I do some lecturing, and of course I'm also director of music for Orchestra Vitae, which I'll come on to in a second.
So as I mentioned, I grew up in Bedfordshire in a village called Risley, and I took my cello lessons, and we did lots and lots of stuff through the youth music service there, which was really, really strong. It still is, but it was particularly strong at the time. And then I went to study at Birmingham University, so I did an academic music degree there. And one of the attractive things about that course, and still is that you get a really, really good amount of practical lessons, of instrumental lessons, which is provided usually at the Birmingham Conservatoire or Birmingham Conservatoire. And I actually went to then study a postgraduate at the Conservatoire after. I also, during those years of study, became interested in Baroque music. So I also played the Baroque cello, which is something that I came to at that time through the opportunities that were available there. And now I work, well, certainly since lockdown, primarily as a cello teacher and double bass teacher as well, and also play cello and Baroque cello as well, and of course with Orchestra Vitae.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you a little bit about the history of the orchestra. So we started in 2012, and initially I just started it with a friend who was a conductor, and we really both enjoyed playing Brahms's First Symphony. It's quite a famous symphony, and we were just going to play that, do a concert of that for fun. But actually, it was so much fun that we decided to continue putting on concerts, and we started at a church near Gloucester Road, St Stephen's, and then in October 2013 we had our first concert at St John Smith Square, and that's where we've played ever since. And in fact, our last concert we were supposed to do was in April 22nd, 2020, but actually it's now been postponed a whole year to April the 23rd of this year. And we hope that we'll at least be able to live stream it. So if we can, hopefully we'll be able to live stream it to you guys as well. And actually Mark and I met playing one of the concerts at St John's, so that was really lovely. And what's really special about Vitae is that it's always felt something really positive, and really friendly, and everyone is, well, initially of course it was a bunch of friends playing together, and what's really special is that it still is. And we always used to say sort of oh, it would be so good if you could kind of bottle this feeling, this kind of community feeling that everyone seems to have whenever they play with the orchestra, or when people come to our concerts. So I came up with an initiative called Concert Chums, which is really trying to bottle that sort of essence of kind of togetherness and community. And so the idea is that when you come to one of our concerts, you are met by a team of volunteers, and they will make sure that your concert experience is really kind of relaxed and welcoming. And since lockdown, we've been trying to sort of put that out there online, and sort of through our social media channels and things like that. So it's amazing to be able to kind of keep that going today. So if at any point we can do a live concert, and I hope we will be able to in April, there will be a team of volunteers there to kind of welcome you and kind of chat to you about the orchestra, and talk about the music and things, which is a bit like we're going to do right now. So we're going to start with some classical music, but we've got, like I said, we've got some more popular pieces as well. And the first piece is some Schubert.
So this is a piece by Schubert. It's called Du bist die Ruhe. So it's a song. And Schubert was quite a prolific composer of songs for voice and piano, but it translates really, really nicely into a violin and cello duo. So this is Du bist die Ruhe. Thank you.
So going to play a few movements from Handel now, the water music, and Max is going to tell you a little bit about the history of this piece.
Yeah, so Handel, born in Germany, but we sort of adopted him as an English composer, I think, as well. He lived in London in the 18th century, and in 1717, King George I approached him and said, "Look, I want to do a concert on the River Thames, the flotilla of barges with, a grand orchestral forces, trumpets and drums and strings, and they would sail down from, I think they started at Whitehall and they sailed down to Chelsea, and then they sort of got off the boats and had a promenade, and then they sailed back. And I think the event was due to be just a couple of hours long, but actually, I think King George I enjoyed it so much that he kept making the orchestra play again and again and again. And the whole thing went on for rather a good many hours. So this is a few of the pieces from the water music. So we're going to play an air, so a song, a bourrée, which is a fast dance in two, and then a hornpipe, a sailor's hornpipe.
that's a bit more of a sort of jaunty piece. And we talk quite a lot in music about how music can really sort of change your mood. And I think it's really important that you sort of have the opportunity to listen to lots of different music. So we've got something a little bit more sort of romantic now, I guess. This is Make You Feel My Love, made famous by Adele, but of course originally by Bob Dylan.
Thank you. So now we're going back to Schubert's, where we started, for another song transcribed for violin and cello. This is Stenchen of Serenade. So on our daily walks, we can think about this one on our one walk aloud per day. Stenchen by Schubert, which is one of our favourite pieces.
To play together, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a lovely piece, that one. It gives you proper goosebumps, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
funny, isn't it? Because obviously they would have lyrics, have text when sung with by a singer with piano. But actually, I don't think you don't lose the meaning somehow. You can still even when it's a song without words. So I hope you enjoyed that. We're now going back onto our
To the
barges
handle.
on the Thames, back to the water music.
Okay, so we got two more, the minuet and then the rigodon. This is another sort of more slightly upbeat tunes.
So yeah, the water music by Handel.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we're going back to the pop now. And we thought you can't get enough of Ed Sheeran, can you? So we're gonna do
Suffolk's finest.
So we're gonna do two pieces by him, but the first one we're gonna do is Thinking Out Loud. Thank you. That's a fun one, isn't it? I think that's something that's really nice actually about this time, like a positive that we've benefited from all of this is that we've had like more time to sort of play just two of us, whereas usually we might be playing in big orchestras together, but not just the two of us. So we've had the chance to explore some different music and repertoire and stuff, haven't we? So,
And less travelling.
yes, a lot less
Carbon,
traveling.
carbon footprint's a bit lower.
We're going back to Fancy. So this piece seemed particularly fitting for this time of year. It's the Largo from Winter from the Four Seasons by Vivaldi. This is a really lovely piece. So,
Barren landscape.
yeah, exactly. It's very evocative. So I'm sure you'll be able to hear the kind of wintry feel. And we're in London. We're in Putney in London. So sadly we haven't got any snow, but I know some of you have. So yeah, send some of it.
Very jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, you enjoy the snow too. back to Ed Sheeran now. Isn't
Oh yeah.
it? And so we're doing Perfect this time. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And the wrong one there.
Oh,
That would have been imperfect.
oh, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So I think we're coming to our last one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we've got a rather sort of folksy kind of upbeat pop tune for you just to finish off. This is "Wake Me Up" by Avicii.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank